the meeting of the Owen J. Roberts Board of School Directors, our regular business meeting on Monday, October 24th, 2016. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Please join us in a moment of silence as we reflect on those serving in the United States Armed Forces, both past and present, the elected leaders for the state of Pennsylvania, and elected leaders of our nation. We have much to be thankful for in our community. Please be seated. Item 3.1, executive session announcement. We held an executive session this evening, October 24th, 2016, at 6:15 in the high school library to discuss personnel and legal matters. Item 4.1, Student Government Executive Council President's Report, Jacob Buckwalter. And welcome, Jacob.
Thank you. All right, so to start off, this Thursday, the RAA-sponsored Safe Trick-or-Treat Night will be held in the high school from 6 o'clock to 8 p.m. All Owen J. Roberts School District elementary students are invited to attend with a parent or guardian. More details are available on the website. In the high school, the Spirit Week that was held for homecoming activities during the first week of October was an awesome success. It was purely amazing. Student government organized themed Spirit Days, and on the last day of Spirit Week, 95% of the high school community showed their OJR spirit by wearing red and white. There was record attendance at that dance that Saturday. The golf team played the faculty in their annual golf match. The faculty team, led by Dr. Marchini and Dr. Early, defeated the golf team, who was led by Ward McHenry and Mark Amadio. In the middle school held their annual ceremony for our National Junior Honor Society, where 60 members were inducted. The first dance, sponsored by our PTA, was held on October 21st, and over 500 students attended. With the elementaries, in East Coventry Elementary, second grade students are studying both Earth and space as part of their current science unit. On the evening of Wednesday, November 14th, all families of second grade students are invited to an evening of stargazing and hot chocolate. The evening should be a spectacular display in the night sky, as there will be a supermoon. Telescopes will be set up for students to get a glimpse into the night skies above. Local military veterans will be honored and recognized at a breakfast being hosted in their honor on Wednesday, November 9th. On Friday evening, November 11th, East Coventry students in grades 2 and 3 will be performing the fall dramatic production of Character Matters. The production puts an interesting twist on several traditional tales like Hansel and Gretel and Snow White. In East Vincent Elementary, on October 13th, Fire Prevention Day was celebrated with the annual visit for the early intervention and kindergarten students by the fire department. Students saw a fire truck up close, talked to firefighters, and were thrilled by the siren. Were even able to dress up in clothes of a firefighter. Volunteers also assisted the students in completing an obstacle course and to practice safety drills. The PTA Fall Book Fair was in full swing. Students enjoyed browsing a large number of books, and on 2 evenings, the Desserts with Dads event brought a large number of fathers/relatives to the school to share time checking out their book fair and enjoying desserts. The East Vincent community is participating in the Make a Difference Day activities. Filling the bus for the Coventry Food Pantry is always a major goal. To provide a little extra incentive, the class with the greatest number of donations will win a tour of the new East Vincent building once visits are permitted. Mrs. Quinn, the school counselor, has organized a number of events in support of Red Ribbon Week. which occurs October 24th to 28th. The theme for the year is YOLO, you only live once. In French Creek Elementary, French Creek's first PTA Wildcat Walk was a huge success. To date, the fundraiser has brought in $18,800 with additional matching funds still expected from employers and local businesses. It was a really fun event for all who were involved. French Creek hosted the annual Grand Friends Day last week. Faculty members will be showing off their spelling skills during a staff spelling bee on Friday, October 31st. Students will be able to sign up for the student spelling bee after this fall. At North Coventry Elementary School observed Fire Prevention Day on October 13th. Students in kindergarten through second grade attended an assembly with the Norco Fire Company and then got an up-close look at a fleet of fire trucks. Over 14 volunteer firefighters and 4 OJR high school junior firefighters took part in the events. The Chester County Department of Emergency Services will be presenting their Stranger Danger program to students in K through second grade on October 20th, just in time for Halloween. In West Vincent Elementary, Sarah Weber, the West Vincent guide counselor, has implemented a mentorship program that gives students a platform to share their ideas and concerns in a small group of 8 to 10 students per adult. It is an opportunity for students to meet and become unexpected friends with each other. It is also a way to build up a sense of community and teachers and other adults in the building. This program has been very well received, and we plan on having 3 or 4 more mentor meetings throughout the school year. On October 5th, Stephen Courtney performed for a school assembly and an evening performance for the West Vincent families. His music and overall positive message brought inspiration to our students. Thank you very much.
And thank you.
Christian.
Very well done.
Madam President,
Yes.
I just wanted to make mention that I posted a picture of Jacob on Facebook from the PSBA PASA conference. It's a great picture. He didn't get that many likes. Not like a kitten video or a puppy video, but there was more fame for you. Did a great job there, by the way.
Thank you, Mr. Lecoff.
Thank you. Thank you, Jacob. I'm sorry. Item 4.2, student recognition. Before I come to the front and introduce our honorees, I'd like to talk about the National Merit Scholarship Program. It's an academic competition for recognition and scholarship that began in 1955. High school students enter the National Merit Program by taking the preliminary SAT, National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test, a test which serves as an initial screening of approximately 1.5 million entrants each year, and by meeting published program entry and participation requirements. At this time, I'd like to invite Mrs. Wolf to come forward with me and so we can recognize 4 of our students. 3 of them are here. For receiving the letter of commendation for the National Merit Scholarship Program and for outstanding academic promise, Benjamin Madden. Also, letter of commendation for National Merit Scholarship Program, Sierra McClellan. National Merit Scholarship Program semifinalist, Anna Stone. I don't believe he's here today. Another National Merit semifinalist, Conrad Sager. Parents, want to come forward and get pictures? So we're going to
still on.
Item 4.3, the superintendent's report. Congratulations to the girls' tennis and hockey teams, field hockey teams, tennis player Meredith Lee, and cross-country runner Liam Conway, who have all won Pac-10 competitions and qualified to attend districts. In fact, I think the field hockey first round is going on as I speak. All of these athletes will be recognized at our November board meeting. Congratulations on their accomplishment. Our annual Veterans Day celebration and luncheon will be held on November 11th, 2016 at the high school. Additional information can be found on the district website. Finally, a quick update on our delayed start teen sleep committee. We had 35 parents, teachers, and administrators meet last week on October 19th. We shared relevant research, analyzed our current bell schedules and operational schedules, also had free-flowing ideas that took place, and we took questions at the end to help steer our next agenda. The next meeting is scheduled for November 9th. I expect a board presentation and update after the new year. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Christian. Item 5.1, public comment on agenda items. Information, proposals, and statements from individuals or delegations pertaining to items on the agenda. Speakers are to indicate your name, township of residence, and the items on the agenda to which your comments are addressed. Speakers will be limited to not more than 3 minutes. Don't all rush at once. Okay, seeing that there is none. Item 6, board committee report. Committee of the whole, as soon as I get this, okay. A meeting of the Committee of the Whole was held October 10th, 2016 at 6 p.m. in the middle school LGI. And at that meeting, the Committee of Curriculum and Instruction met. 6.2, Buildings and Grounds, Mrs. Booth.
Good evening. Buildings and Grounds Committee last met Monday, October 3rd, 2016, 6 p.m. in the Administration Building Boardroom. The next Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting will be held Monday, November 7th, 2016, immediately following the Committee of the Whole, approximately 7 p.m. in the high school LGI. If you care to join us, please do, and if you know any public who would care to show up, it would be a good idea. Just a real quick update for the Buildings and Grounds. New East Vincent Elementary School is progressing rapidly. Transition is expected within the next few months, exact date to be announced. The much anticipated transition will be followed by Phase 2, existing structure demolition and site finalization. Total completion is expected prior to opening day of the 2017-2018 school year. Public auction opportunity is in the works to be coordinated within the framework of Phase 1 occupancy completion and Phase 2 demo and site completion timelines. The East Coventry Elementary School Facilities Project is progressing towards the November Shovels in the Ground celebration. The final ECES Land Development Agreement has been signed by all parties as of this afternoon. East Coventry Supervisor President Mr. Ray Kolb, attending solicitors, and our board president, Mrs. Pamela Wolf. Soon our focus will shift 2 miles to the north and to the east, from East Vincent Elementary School to East Coventry Elementary School. And we have 3 relative items under new business for approval today: submission of Plan Con G, accounting based on bids for East Coventry, and submission of Plan Con H, East Vincent project financing, and 1312, submission of Plan Con H for East Coventry project financing. Thank you, Madam President, and go Wildcats.
Yay. Just heard that Owen J. Roberts field hockey team won their first district game 2-1. Yay! Okay, next item, 6.3, Chester County Intermediate Unit, Mrs. Barkis.
The Chester County Intermediate Unit Board of Directors held its monthly meeting on October 19th at the Child and Career Development Center in Coatesville. We had a presentation on one of the IU's district goals, which is making online therapy available to more students that are before school age. Is that the best way to say it? So like BVA, which is an online hybrid that a lot of school districts are able to use, not only in the county that the IU developed, but also now in the state. They have created a way for different therapies to be given online to students who live in rural areas or may not have transportation in order to get to certain areas. And also, it's cost effective for the IU if they're not sending the therapist out to everybody's homes. So the different therapy areas include speech therapy, occupational therapy, vision and hearing support, and mental health. And if you, let's say you have a child that qualifies for services, you have the ability to say, yes, I would like this therapy presented to me this way, or even no thank you, or even I'll give it a shot and do, maybe if you're recommended to have three times a week, you can have 1 in person and 2 online. And with the amount of, let's just say speech therapists, for example, being low and sought after because they're just not graduating them fast enough because the programs are so small. This way, students are able to get a much more, I guess the word would be consistent practice, where especially if they lived in more rural communities, not so much Chester County, it's a lot harder for them to be seen as often as maybe their evaluation states that they should be. So that was really cool. And it's also neat to see how behind the scenes, the technical aspect of it that the IU is creating, and then like BVA, the whole goal is to then market it so that, for example, like if our students were to use BVA, we have an in-county cost as a Chester County school district, but they're servicing Philadelphia school district right now where they pay like a larger amount. So then that's bringing an income that's not taxpayer funded, which is helping then us in-county taxpayers, which is then helping us pay for the services that we're getting from the IU. They're becoming to us cheaper. So if that just makes a little bit more sense to you. And then like when they do the superintendent searches, so that's all over the state now. They're doing them in Pittsburgh and all over north, south, east, west Pennsylvania. That money is coming in, and it's not obviously going back out to the districts, but it's cutting our costs in all levels that we get support from the district. So I just thought I'd share all that. My next meeting, sorry, I'm pulling it up, is Wednesday, November 16th at 7:30 at the Technical College High School in Penixbridge. So it'll be interesting to see that. We usually see Pickering in November, but because it's under construction, we're going to Penixbridge. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. 6.4, Curriculum and Instruction, Mr. LaCoff.
Thank you, Madam President. The Curriculum and Instruction Committee met as part of the Committee of the Whole meeting on December 10th at the middle school. There were 2 informational agenda items for the meeting. Dr. Marchini presented courses that are being considered as hybrid options for next school year. These courses could potentially provide delayed start time for most high school students. Students would have 2 hybrid courses and arrive to school at 8:30. Students would need to work online on these classes outside of the school day. Dr. Soder and the administrative team presented results from the spring PSSA and Keystone tests, as well as the advanced placement and SAT tests. There were many increases in the test scores compared with last year. At the time of the meeting, the state had not yet made the SPP scores public, but those scores will be posted on the PDE website. There was a problem with the provider. The data provider had gotten some numbers messed up for a relatively small number of schools, but they didn't want to post even those small schools incorrectly, so they're reviewing all of their data migration. The next Curriculum and Instruction Committee will be scheduled as part of the Committee of the Whole meeting on November 7th, 2016 at 6 p.m. in the high school. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. LaCoff. 6.5, Finance Committee, Mr. Freeze.
No report at this time, but I would like to make noted that on consent item number 7.6, that all board members will acknowledge receipt of the financial and compliance report that was presented with our annual audit, as there were no significant findings whatsoever with the school, and it passed with flying colors. So I just want to pass that on, and congratulations to the business side of the school who did a superb job again this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. We have no report for 6.6 or 6.7, so we will go into 7, recommended routine matters. 7.1, a motion to approve recommended routine matters, which are consent items 7.2 through 7.6.
So moved.
Mrs. Booth?
Second.
Mr. Lecoff? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 8.1, approval of meeting minutes.
So moved.
Mr. Lecoff?
Second.
Mrs. Barkis? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 9.1, board communication. No communications, thank you. 11.1, old business.
You missed board discussion.
Oh, I missed 10.1, board discussion. Is there any discussion?
Well, as long as you're bringing that up, yeah.
Okay.
What I wanted to do was highlight some of the events that took place at the PASA and PSBA
Okay.
conference that some of us attended. As you are aware, I've been going for years, and this group of speakers was without a doubt the most engaging, the most informative, just the best group of speakers that we had. Now, I don't want to steal anybody's thunder. Do you have any comments about them before I continue? No, you first.
Thunder. Well, we had 3 speakers, all of whom were excellent. I don't have my paper in front of me. Mr. November, in particular, was excellent, and he kind of highlighted a point I wanted to make at the last session when Mr. Hunter presented very well. And a lot of the discussion was about how flexible we need to stay in our education, because basically we're going where no man has gone before, and we have to be ready and willing to be very flexible, accept new ideas, reiterate new ideas, and change how we are giving our students their information and how they are being allowed to reiterate how they have filtered the information. He was just one of the 3. I didn't get my note out yet. All 3 were excellent. The third one was the gentleman from Google who actually created the Google
I think his name
app.
is KSAP or KSAP. I can't remember how to
Yes,
pronounce it.
he was the one who created the Google app for education.
The educational evangelist he is.
Right, he was great. And the first presenter was the ex-dean of freshmen from Stanford, who made a very good presentation, and 2 of us brought books back for the guidance office on how much we are pressuring our children, how much we have to accept our own attitude towards the pressures we're inflicting upon them, and giving them the leeway to decide where and when they want to pressure themselves if we do. It was a very good speaker group this year, and to be honest, I hadn't expected as much as we got. Mr. Kleinfelder.
For me, I mean, this is my 7th year. The conference was a different format this year, which made it a bit of a struggle for some people because everybody's used to doing the same thing. But the speakers, they did a very good job this year. It's funny, like the professor or the dean from Stanford, real life scenarios, and you can relate to how, as parents, because I think the title of our book is How to Raise an Adult. And it's basically about helicopter parents and how not to be one. But and we all find that to be a challenge these days. The second, Mr. November, he was sort of like the absent-minded professor, but he got his point across. His whole presentation was based off of a picture of this, a computerized toilet, that cost $25,000. And his question was, who would pay this? But apparently they sold 80,000 of them in their first year. but it's all about what it can do, and it's all about, it's really, collecting data, and reporting it to your doctor before you even know what's wrong with you. So it was interesting. And then the guy from Google, his East Wing, he presented at the White House, and, he was, he tells about how he was in awe that, here he is standing in the East Wing of the White House, and then he has to give this
humble origins for him. He had humble origins.
Presentation on, how to improve education to a group of students. But, and then the rest of the conference, I think, went pretty well. The student showcase is always a good event. They basically have, I believe they had 10 different performances throughout the state of Pennsylvania where the students come out and they do, like a 3-minute skit or a 5-minute skit, a performance. And then there were less educational, I thought, material this year. They had breakout sessions. Some of them were very good. I guess there's one thing which we'll talk about is IDEX, which is it's a biointelligence tool that you can use to do studies on your students within the state, within your district, or within comparable districts. So that was kind of neat to see all that stuff together.
There was also financial data that I thought was tremendously interesting there. And the fact you can pull it up so fast, you can manipulate the data. I'm really glad that you brought that up from a programmer, a software engineer. You can tell them whether you thought it was as fabulous as I thought it was.
And then the Lego lab was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
Do we get anybody been able to noodle around with that yet, Dr. Christian?
I am signed up for the webinar next week.
Okay. But we'll be ready to go. It'll be very useful.
Dr. Soder and I will immerse ourselves in it. We'll keep Mr. Sanfran out of it.
I think you're going to have a line in front of the office for administrators that want to get their hands on it. We were really impressed. The speakers, to add my own comments, because I agree with all the things that you folks said here. One thing that Alan November said that impressed me was that you have to have teachers that are brave enough and empowered enough to ask questions they don't know the answers to. Because to get the information, you say, hey, Google, and you're going to get all the information you want. Wolfram Alpha will solve all your problems. The question that remains for educators now is, how do we stimulate students to want to learn and to figure out how they need to learn in the future? Because as you pointed out, we're training them for jobs that won't be created for a few years yet. I was really, really impressed with Julie Lithcott-Haynes. This was the book you mentioned. I'll be glad to loan it to the school district. Her theory was that we no longer have helicopter parents, we have drone parents, because they can get even closer in. And she told some stories. She was from the viewpoint of the dean of freshman students at Stanford that were they were terrifying and depressing, some of these stories. She says parents come to orientation with their students at Stanford. We're not talking about Podunk University. This is a place where you had to be a very capable person to gain admission. Parents come to orientation and they don't go home. Literally, they don't go home. They rent apartments and hotel rooms to stay with the kids. She had maybe it was the Kasich guy that told the story. There was a student in the class who wouldn't stop texting. This girl wouldn't put her phone down and stop texting. So finally the teacher walks over and said, give me your phone. That's enough with this texting. You got to pay attention in class. She hands him the phone and she says, this is my mother. You deal with her. And the teacher texts, we're in the middle of class. We expect a level of concentration from the students. And the mother says, oh, that's fine. But just ask Julie what time she's going to be home for dinner. She wouldn't even let the teacher finish the thing without getting the text work done. And one of the things that was absolutely shocking to me was the notion that's becoming evident through studies that these drone parents that are having their kids take 30 AP courses and go to get into debates with teachers over tenths of points on the grades. There's a correlation between those parents and depression and suicide in their children. And the most depressing anecdote she told was that there was a child, and I guess he was at Stanford, fresh out of high school, had committed suicide. The parents put his obituary in the newspaper and included his SAT scores in his obituary. So many of these parents that are striving so hard for their children aren't letting them grow up. The kids are incapable of making their own decisions, not because they don't want to, but because every decision they turn around and say, "Mom," and mother answers for them, and it was awful. So I'll be glad to loan anybody here that wants to see the book, and if we need it for guidance people, you can take it too. A couple other things they talked about: the Success Starts Here program. I picked up a couple of the Success Starts Here T-shirts. I'm going to see if we can get more if anyone among the board or staff is interested. And I got some extra window clings. Dr. Christian, if you want to pass those out to any of the, you got one per school, but every school has a lot of doors. I tried putting one in my car, but with tinted windows you don't really see them, and we're going to look for bumper stickers. And the program itself is progressing nicely. There's a lot of free advertising, especially out in the Harrisburg area for the legislators to see. And we sent not a report, I don't know what you would call it, an anecdote about things that are going on here at O&J with drama, to learn other things besides drama. Heartwarming to see, very well received, and the program is humming right along. And that's the end of that report.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. Okay, item 11.1, old business. There is none, so we are now to item 12. 12.1, motion to approve personnel matters. These are consent items, 12.2 through 12.13. Mr. Kleinfelter. If you need to separate, yes, you actually should say that before we have a motion. So are you separating? You wish, Ms. McCreary? 12.12, okay. And according to Robert's rules as well as board docs, we must number our items so that they concur with our board docs. We will have motion to approve personnel matters, consent items 12.2 to 13, and then 12.12 will actually become 12.12 remains 12. We skipped that. Do we have to renumber it for board docs?
Just vote on it separately.
Okay.
When you can, for example, no one seconded the motion, so you could let the motion fail for lack of a second and vote on individual items or make a new motion.
And if you had said that slower, I would have understood. Okay, so we're voting on 12.2 through 12.11, and then also 12.13. We will pull out 12.12 and vote on that separately.
That's a friendly amendment. Whoever.
That's okay with you, Mr. Kleinfelder? Okay.
Second.
Mr. Lakoff, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We are now voting separately on item 12.12, approval, ratification of the following extracurricular and supplemental interscholastic academic and athletic activities.
So moved.
Mr. Lakoff. Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No? Okay, so it's one no, Ms. McCreary. Okay, motion carries 8-1. Okay, 13.1, approval, new business, approval to amend policies. Mr. Kleinfelter.
Second.
Mrs. Booth, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13.2, approval of policies for second reading. Mr. Kleinfelter?
Second.
Mr. Lecoff, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 13.3, approval of out-of-state overnight student trips. Mrs. Huzzard.
Second.
Mrs. Booth, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13.4, approval of homebound instruction. Mr. Lecoff.
Second.
Mrs. Booth, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 13.5, approval of student activity clubs and organizations. Mr. Kleinfelter? Mrs. Huzzard, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 13.6, approval to establish a student activity account. Mr. Kleinfelter.
Second.
Mrs. Booth, any discussion? If you're not paying attention, the new account is the debate club.
I think we should let the
Touche,
debate.
Mr. Kleinfelder, touche.
I think we should let the debate club run the political presidential debates.
Yes. Okay. Any other discussion on debating the debate? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13.7, approval of settlement agreement.
So moved.
Mrs. Booth.
Second.
Mr. Lecoff, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13.8, approval of conference attendance.
So moved.
Mrs. Booth. We need a second. Mr. Lecoff. Don't look at me, I'm just sitting here. Okay. Any discussion? Yes.
We will get them across the state line.
And it's I was just out there this weekend. It's a beautiful area.
And it's almost heaven.
Oh, jeez. What is wrong with us tonight? Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 13.9, approval of transfer of accounts.
So moved.
Mrs. Booth. Mrs. Huzzard, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 13.10, approval of submission of Plan Con G project accounting based on bids.
So moved.
Mrs. Booth. Mr. Kleinfelter, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.11, approval of submission of Plan Con Part H for East Vincent Facilities Improvement Project.
So moved.
Mrs. Booth. Mr. Kleinfelter, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 13.12, approval. There's a lot of these. Approval of submission of Plan Con Part H for East Coventry Facilities Improvement Project.
So moved.
Mrs. Booth. Mr. Kleinfelter, any discussion? But that's a very apt term. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.13, approval of a professional service and/or maintenance agreement. Mrs. Barkis. Mr. Lecoff, any discussion? Yes, Mr. Kleinfelter. The pediatric therapeutic?
I guess it's going to 2015 existing extension. I wasn't clear on if it's just a one-year extension
Whoops.
It's just to add in additional services. So PTS is approved annually, or their competitors for. Yep, it is an annual approval for whomever we use. We've been with PTS now a couple of years.
Because it says the May 20, 2014.
So you,
It says all terms and conditions will be agreed afterwards, based on the list of the original date, which is the first. So this is for 1 year.
Correct.
okay. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 14.1, public comment. Information, I just lost my, I should have it memorized by now. Information, proposals, statements, and/or questions from individuals or delegations pertaining to any item. Speakers are to indicate their name and township of residence. Speakers will be limited to not more than 3 minutes. Okay. 15.1, board request for information. Anybody request? Mrs. Booth?
Well, I probably should have said this earlier. I'm going to give information, and it has inference on the presentation by the Intermediate Student Forum. I had asked if they knew how many high school students attended high school at the public school level, or the public schools in Chester County, Pennsylvania. I answered my own question, and it's kind of interesting. There are 27 public high schools in Chester County, serving 32,950 students, plus the Downingtown STEM Academy has 763. Octororo Junior Senior High School has 1,100 students, but that's 7 to 12, so I don't know what the numbers are there. The CCTC 3 schools have a total of 332 students. That's the Chester County Technical College schools, 3 of them. So we're up over around 33,000, or over 33,000, probably 34,000, and that does not include the charter schools, private schools, special ed facilities, et cetera, all of which we are in part or totally subsidize to the public districts. Anyway, I just thought I would give that information out. And one more thing, I forgot to say this, I'm sorry. The minutes of the curriculum meeting on the very last page, Ms. McCreary is stated as being Mr. McCreary. I think it should be corrected. Thank you.
Mrs. Booth?
Yes.
What was the total you had for the CTCs?
The total for the CCTCs is 332 in
Three
3
high
schools.
schools?
Yes.
I think that's each one ranges
Yes.
between 350 and 330 and 400.
Well, it had it actually broken down, and the total came to 332. I don't know.
No, they may only be the
Like
full-time
100
ones.
at Cat Pickering?
That's what I'm saying. This is probably just
Cat
full-time.
Pickering has 390, but that's probably full, a combination of half-time and then they do a full-time equivalent, Mr. O'Connell.
Right. I don't know the exact breakout. I did my own research, and it didn't really pull out, except it did list who attends which school, the numbers, but it has to be just...
Okay.
Oh, they count them as a half? Okay. I was just trying to get a grand total of how many high school students we have, and some of that has to do with the data given to us by the sleep study group, because they were using about 2,000 to 3,000 students as their sampling of data, which is rather small compared to the overall population of high school students in the county. Mm-hmm. I think we will be, I'm hoping we're going to be doing a survey within our own school.
Do we have an agenda for the 3rd yet?
The 3rd of November?
Yeah.
No.
When are we getting that? Do we know?
We can get it out to you this week.
Okay.
Okay, any other information, requests, or any comments? Okay, item 16.1, adjournment. This meeting is officially adjourned.